I hope this won't get that ridiculously long as the first episode, but here we go. Welcome back. As like promised, I will do autumn, fall, winter. I mean, autumn and fall is the same, but yeah, autumn, winter knitting plans video, because I have so many plans and this is like my first autumn that I'm a proper garment knitter, and I love jumpers, sweaters, whatever, so I'm so excited. Also, autumn is my favorite season of the year, I think, especially where I live with all the coloring and the trees. It's just beautiful, and also it cools down. I don't do well with hot weather or high temperatures, so like autumn is perfect for me. And also I love all the fall colors, even though I think I won't knit in many fall colors this year. I'm looking down here because all my yarn and swatches are lying there. And yes, so I already knit 2 drop shoulder jumpers and 1 cardigan, also drop shoulder, and 1 yoke in the round jumper. So yeah, I think I definitely have a few designs that I want to try. And what else is there to say? I generally don't like V sweaters, like, or jumpers, like this V thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. I really like double folded neckbands or collars, or like turtleneck or mock neck, like everything which basically is higher up. I also am not the biggest fan on variegated yarns, or I'm also like not a lot of colors. And yes, I really like heathered yarns, natural looking yarns like sheepy yarns, and also I try to reduce my mohair. I have some mohair in here, but it's for gifts, and for myself I want to try to knit more with just plain wool. I really like how it's looking, and also mohair adds to the cost, but also I found that a lot of sweaters or jumpers are in DK or for DK weight, and there's not a lot of wool which is affordable and is also in DK weight. So yeah, you basically have to often hold 2 yarns together anyways, and which makes it more expensive in the end. But yeah, you will see a pattern here, because I try to reduce the cost for my garments, but I like to spend horrendous amounts of money on my friends and family. I have no limit when it comes to that, because I just love gift knitting. It's like, it brings me so much joy. Choosing the pattern, choosing the colors is just so great. So I will sort this in 3 categories. I will put first like the things I'm pretty sure I'm going to knit this fall and winter. I'm only planning right now until the new year and from that on we will see how much I finished, what is still on my bucket list, etc. So let's start with the things I definitely want to knit, and for some things I already have the yarn, but since I like planning on moving and still on a budget, I can't order it right now, but I already have plans, and it will insert pictures of the yarns I've chosen for the garments. Yes, and I also will put on timestamps this time, because my friends told me it's far too long and I'm surprised people made it to the end of like over 1 hour podcasting, but if they made it, yeah, you're great. Thank you for watching it, but I will put timestamps so people can like skip stuff, and also my friends won't watch my real life friends won't watch the gifting part. So first are selfish knits, or knits for me, which I'm really excited for. So the first one, I already talked about it in my first episode, is the Nord Pullover by Hanne Rimmen. I have it like all on my iPad here and will look down. So I really love that design, especially with, it has like lovely details, like the dark, like contrast color edges around the arms, and the hem are really nice. There's also a pattern fitting for like pants, like jogging pants, do you call that? Like, yeah, like homeware stuff. I won't knit that, but it's like really cool that it's like a whole suit kind of. And I first thought about knitting it with what is it? Lana Avetta Classic in Marzipan. And then I swatched and it wasn't working. It was just too drapey, it didn't have any structure, and it wasn't just what I was looking for. So I combined it with this lace yarn that I ordered for something else, and I think it fits kind of well. It makes it a little bit lighter, which I actually really prefer, and holding a fingering weight and a lace weight together actually makes DK weight, I found out. I mean, it also depends on your needle size, but I will knit this on 4mm needles, and the recommended needle for the pattern is a 3.5, so I might knit a size smaller than I would want to, but I think it will work. And I'm combining this with another yarn for the contrast color, and I ordered for that like some brown yarn, and also from Avetta Classic, but the darker one is Dijon and the lighter one is, I think, caramel, and they are both beautiful colors, but when I swatched it I just didn't like it. It made like the beige really muddy all in all, and I wasn't feeling it. It wasn't what I was looking for. Then I swatched it with a dark gray, still very muddy, and in the end I bought Sandnes Garn Smart. It's a superwash wool for DK or maybe even worsted. And yeah, just plain black wool, and I swatched it. And actually this is going to be the first swatch that I'm going to wash and block, because I'm really afraid that the black is going to bleed into the gray, and so I wanted to see before knitting a whole garment if this works. So this is not the most, like, the neatest swatch, I have to say, because I also tried to knit the coloring part with 4.5 needles, which I won't do in the garment because it just looked messy. And I also started in the bottom with 3.5 needles, so, and then switched to 4. So like, probably in the knitting community this is like a faux pas or something like that, but yeah, it works for me. I like the color combination, I like the contrast, and it's kind of the same as you see in the sample knit on her pictures. And yeah, I think that's it about it. The next one, I already talked about it in the first episode as well. It's going to be the Fortune Sweater in brushed alpaca silk in the light gray color. And yeah, I haven't swatched for it because I think I'm going to knit the Nord Pullover first. And I already swatched with a different color for a different project, so I know that my gauge fits. And since other like books from Popsicle or something like that, I will insert her name, and Rachel from Night Sky Knitting, they both knitted the Fortune Sweater with the brushed alpaca silk by Drops as well, so I know it works. So, and yes, it's by PetiteKnit, but I think everyone knows that jumper. So next up is the Halibut sweater, and I got that idea from Carson, from, what's her name? Carsley Handmade. She also has a podcast on YouTube here, and I think she's lovely. Like, she's so cute. I really love watching her videos, and also like in the last one you could see her husband or boyfriend. I mean, they're expecting a child, but I don't know what like if they're married or not. But and she made the Halibut sweater for him, and I mean, he has great taste because I wanted to knit that as well after that. I'm not the biggest fan on most color work jumpers, but this one I really like because I'm really into the whole fishing or fisherman aesthetic or nautical aesthetic. Like, I have like this, like the dark cap and the white and blue vertical striped shirts, and yeah, a lot of stuff like that. And I mean, I live by the sea, close to the sea, and I used to live on an island as well, so it's, I mean, it's not that like, it's not that I live in the mountains and have like a thing for the sea, but yeah, I just really like it. And just the fish on the yoke, I was totally in love with it. So I looked up all the different color combinations, and what I really liked was like a light gray with like a, not a dark blue, like a middle blue tone on it. And yeah, I really enjoy it. The design is by Caitlyn Hunter, and I'm going to knit the size 3. It's 117 centimeter bust. Oh, so, excuse me. And I will order the BC Garn Semila Melange, I think it's called. I already knit this cardigan behind me with some yarn from BC Garn, some other yarn, and I really enjoyed it. So I definitely wanted to try out a different yarn from them, and also holding it on its own. And yeah, it fits the gauge perfectly. So the colors I chose are light gray. It's more like a beigey gray, I think, which I really like. And the blue tone I will insert here because I don't know how it's called. First I wanted the petrol colored, but I think it's too greenish for the beige, gray beige. So I will take more a Havard blue tone, and I really like the very dimensional colors that they offer, like very natural looking yarns. I was really sad that they don't have a brown that I'm looking for another project for. I mean, they have browns, but they have like a lot of other colors included, which was not what I was looking for. But yes, I will order that probably, depending when I have money again, but probably in October or something. And yeah, the next one. Also, like I was planning, I wanted to do a raglan design construction, and in the round yoke construction coloring thing this winter. So this is like the first thing on my bucket list, and the next one will be probably the Monday sweater by PetiteKnit. She just recently came out with it. I think she has like a lot of different raglan construction as well, but she also marketed this one as like the most perfect one, and since I've never done one, I was like, why not start with that one? I also thought about knitting the Lento sweater or something, because Rebecca from Crea Bear really recommended that pattern. But when I looked at the pictures online, I really like the oversized, and like when you have, what is it, like big arms, like when you join around, like deep armholes, this is what it's called. And I thought this was like quite tight looking, which is really great when you want to knit a jumper with, like, for example, hand-dyed yarn and stuff like that, because it doesn't take a lot of yarn. But that's not what I wanted, so I decided to do petite knit patterns. But I was I didn't feel like 100% comfortable because I know that like PetiteKnit and also my favorite things knitwear are not size inclusive, and when it comes to like general or classic patterns as a basic raglan jumper, there are a lot of out there, so you could easily go to another designer. So I mean, I won't knit it like straight away, so if I see or get recommended a nicer or raglan construction, which I also like and which fits all the like aspects that I want in it, I might knit that one. But generally I'm looking for like a simple raglan construction with a double folded collar and deep arms, and on like it should be knit on 4mm needles, because I already chose the yarn that I wanted, because I saw all these, especially like British podcasters, but also in the in North America and Scandinavia, have like yarn from their local mills, which I found really interesting. And I also wanted to check out if there's something out there in Germany, because I couldn't imagine that there isn't anything out there. I mean, we have sheep as well. I know like just having sheep doesn't mean in the end that there's going to be a wool production as well, because often like these productions are not based in Europe anymore, and often the wool is thrown away and not used anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to check it. And I also knew that I wanted in like a grayish, dark, heathered, natural, sheepish brown, the jumper. In a dark brown basically. And I also looked at like commercial yarn brands, and either way they weren't like natural looking enough for me, or they were very expensive. Like Isaga yarn, they had like really nice ones. I also thought about ordering from Holst, and what is it, like Woolly Knits? I think, or the cones that all the British podcasters have. But I thought like, okay, we probably have like some brown sheep in Germany as well. So I googled like if there are some mills around here, and some weren't shipping, some didn't have like the brown yarn was sold out. But in the end I found a one which is called Finkhof Merino Undyed Grey Brown or Dark Brown. I'm not sure yet, but I will insert a picture here. And yeah, it has like perfect gauge, 21 stitches per 10 centimeters. And the yarn actually is like 100 gram, €5.30. I mean, I think there will be additional posting costs, but still it would be around €45 for like not local, because it's like in South Germany and I live in North Germany, but like in a Europe-based sheep wool sweater, or produced sheep wool, which I find like really nice, and I really want to get more into local or regional yarns. And I think especially in Europe and in Germany as well, we have a lot of really cool options, and by buying from these productions you're always improving like local productions, local chains of production, etc. So yeah, I'm really into it, and it's also more sustainable. Like obviously like Denmark or Scandinavia is not far away if I would order from there, or even like UK, but still it would be better to order like something which is more local. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to knitting that one up, but I think this is more to the end of the year, if I even will be able to knit that many garments, because I also have gift knits, and I'm also always overestimating how many garments I can knit. For example, when I went to Copenhagen, I took the Marseille sweater with me, and I thought like, yeah, 7-hour train ride. I will definitely finish an arm. And I didn't take any jumpers with me because I thought like, oh, I will have the Marseille sweater there for me. But in the end, I only finished half of the arm, or not even half. So yeah, I didn't have a sweater with me, which was annoying because it was cold on some days. And on the other hand, like, I really are bad at like estimating how much I can knit. Sometimes it's like I'm way faster than I expected to be finished, but most of the time I'm way slower than I thought I would be. So yeah, this is all the garments I think I want to knit. I'm not yeah, I might change my mind. It's not like 100% sure thing. I might repurpose yarn that I already bought, but at the moment, this is what I'm thinking that I will knit up until the new year. Also, I want to knit some accessories. One of them is the Ovis Socks, and I just call them the sheep socks, and they are by the Petite knitter. And she has lovely designs. I want to knit like up every sock that she has, like every sock pattern, because they are so damn cute, and the color palette she has going on is just it's everything. It's just perfect. It's so damn cute. And I just started today because this morning it felt very autumnal. It was raining, it was very gray, you could wear a jumper. And I started like with some autumn sock projects, like little mushroom socks. So I'm really into motifs, like figures on socks and color work on socks. I really enjoy that, but not so much colorful, or I don't like so much going on my jumpers, but on my socks I do enjoy it. And yeah, right now I'm sweating again and it's 23 degrees, so it's not autumnal anymore at all. So yeah, these I'm definitely going to knit up, and I'm probably going to use the caramel Lana Avetta yarn, because this is sock wool and I won't use it for the jumper, so I thought why not do like very cute socks. I'm definitely repurposing all the yarn. I already repurposed all the yarn that I bought and that doesn't work out for the projects that I was planning for them. So there's nothing going to waste. And also, I mean, I do have a yarn stash, but it's not like, I never have like jumper amounts of yarn without a purpose. So I do like to keep it smallish, kind of. I have a lot of like scrap yarns, like, or one bolts or skeins of yarns, which I think I will use for sock yarns or some other spontaneous projects. But yeah, I don't like it when the stash is getting too big. It kind of stresses me out, and yeah, it just, then I have too many ideas in my head. So I buy the yarn step by step. The other thing I want to knit are hats. I'm a huge hat person, like with the fisherman's hat, and also like with, is it a headband? I don't know, how do you call it? Headscarf. Headscarf. I always call this the milkmaid style, but I really enjoy it because I, like in the first episode, my hair is always falling into my face and I get annoyed by it. So the first one that I want to knit is the Pastel tophue hat. I have no idea how you say that, because the pattern is actually in Danish. It's by pastelkollektivet. I would like spell it French, but basically it's probably pastelkollektivet, maybe something like that. And it's like this two-colored, very short, with a thick rim hats, and they all are in pastel colors, and I just love, first of all, her Instagram is just on point, like the aesthetic is so nice, but also I just love her color combinations. They're like really, really cool. And I guess you can, I mean, it's not that long of a pattern. You can easily translate it for Google Translation, and also, I mean, it's a kind of basic hat pattern, so it's not that complicated probably to get what she's heading to. So I think I will manage. And what I will do, because I already swatched for it, because I think it's here. So what I thought I would do, because I bought this brushed alpaca silk for a gift knit and it's just not working. It's like too, I thought it would be way lighter and more faded, and it's like just too colorful. But, and also with this one, it doesn't work for the project. But I thought combining these could be like a really cool accessory. Like, I think it looks very trendy, and I mean, I usually don't wear anything purple, but this is very bluish purple. So, I mean, if in 1 or 2 years I don't wear it anymore, I can just throw it. But I already swatched. I think it just, oh my god. It just unraveled, but I think the color combination could be really cool. Like with the dark brown and the bluish purple. So I think I will knit this one up with that one. And another hat project is by Louisa Holm from knitwearchitect. That's her Instagram handle, and she has 2 different designs. One is the Olivia hat and the other one is the Angela hat. And for the letter, like the Angela one, she doesn't have a pattern yet. So I hope it's coming out, because I think the design looks really, really cool. The Olivia hat is like a reversed general beanie. Like you have like stockinette at the brim and then ribbing at the top. I think it's brioche knitting as well. And with the Angela hat, it kind of looks like lace, but I think it's just a combination of maybe garter stitch and stockinette or something. But I really like her color choices as well, and I really could imagine like knitting something similar color-wise than she has. And you can never have enough hats in northern Germany, I would say. So this is all that I'm knitting for myself, and or that I'm planning on knitting for myself. I also have some other ideas, which I will talk about shortly, which are more for inspiration or ideas for whoever is watching this, which I really enjoy, but I'm not knitting right now. Might knit in the new year, but I definitely have them saved, and at some point I'll probably plan on knitting them. So the first one is the Peacock Sweater by Knit, and I mean I saw it already before on Instagram, because I get all of my inspiration through Instagram. I don't like Ravelry. I use it if I search for something very specific, but just the user surface and just the general website, I really don't enjoy working with that. It's so aesthetically unpleasing that I just can't imagine that you get inspired by that website. But with Instagram, it's a different thing. I really enjoy it, and it's also a very visual social media platform, which works very well for me because I'm a very visual person. So yeah, I have a lot of patterns saved, and I saw the peacock design first, or I really like thought about the peacock design first on the Italian Knitters podcast, because she has with Grossa knits knit along. I think it's still running, and they are doing like every design from Knit, and they did the t-shirt version, which looks really cute as well. But on summer garments, I'm not so huge on lace, but with like a thick wool, it doesn't look so dainty anymore. And especially in this light yellow color, I totally can see myself knitting this. The next thing, which isn't even out yet, and I think it will depend what the gauge and the pattern construction is going to be, but is the twist loop sweater. I already wanted to knit the top version of it because it's like constructed like a vest or a pullover, and has like this beautiful knitting with some cabling in the middle, and it just looks so beautiful. But I think the top version is knitted on 2.5mm needles or even smaller, and when I saw that I thought like, okay, I can't do another fingering weight top this summer with ribbing, since I did already 4 times the camisole number 5. I was like, okay, I'm not doing that to myself, but in the future I might knit that one. But when I saw the sweater version, which I hope will have a bigger gauge and will be knit on bigger needles, I thought to myself, ooh, I would like to knit that one. Also, I only did like some cabling on a dog pullover sweater, yeah, for a little dog, and I never did like on a garment cabling. So yeah, and since it's not all over cabling, I thought, okay, this could be really cool, and I really like the like beigey and gray versions the test knitters knitted, but I need to see on like how this is going to be knitted. Another design I really enjoy is the Kristjorn pullover or holly sweater. I don't know, the English version has a different name, I don't know why, but it's also by Hanne Rimmen, and it's this really beautiful turtleneck yoke jumper with, first I thought the color work are supposed to be like wheat ears. I needed to Google that because I didn't know the English word for that. But then when I looked longer at it, I realized that it could be also flower or lavender because of the bluish color. And I think like I do like this high contrast, simple motif color work jumpers. I think they're really beautiful. Also when I enjoy the motif, because yeah, I like flowers. And also she's coming up with a wheat ear version. It's not published yet or out yet, and it will be published in some botanical themed collection with other knit designers, so I might get that. I don't know if it's going to be a magazine or like PDF or something, I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure which one I prefer. I really like both of them, and I could really imagine doing them in the base color in a white or in cream of white, and doing the flowers or the wheat ears in like a pastel yellow or like a wheaty color, so it looks more like wheat, which I really like the motif of wheat and lavender. So I think this would be actually really nice. But also like this light yellow might be something nice to knit in the new year when everything is gray and you really want some coloring in your life. And since like some pastel colors are the most colors I will ever knit with for myself, this might be a nice option. And another design I just recently saw, which I was really excited, was from the Sandnes Garn new DIY collection, and it's is it a raglan it's a raglan construction, and it's ribbed, I would say, or maybe brioche, I'm not sure. I haven't looked into the pattern yet. And yeah, it's a part of, I think you can buy it as a magazine, but you can also buy the patterns on their own online, and they have a blue and or navy and a beige version. And I do have a jumper very similar like this for my mom, and it's a dark navy, and I just love it. I really like this architectural ribbing that you have like these lines going here and on the arms as well. I think it looks really cool, and yeah, the jumper of my mom has it as well, and I always felt like if I could knit that again, but I wasn't sure because it looked kind of complicated to me. But now I found this pattern which is very similar, and I totally could imagine knitting this in a lighter shade since I already have a dark navy one. So yeah, this is going to be on my future knitting list as well. And two patterns that I also have are, excuse the squeaking chair, but I don't have another one, from this lovely magazine. It's Lana, Grossa, Nordic knits, and when I saw it online I just knew I had to have it. Like, I need to put my iPad down. First of all, I ordered it and I didn't even have to pay for shipping, which was great. And it's so beautiful. I hope I never like break it or anything, because I just want to have it as like a coffee table book kind of thing. It has like the most aesthetically pleasing like photo series in there. Like, where was this other picture? It's so nice, and all the designs in there I love. But especially what I really loved was, or what I thought about knitting this season, is this one. I will insert a picture where you can see it better, but it's like this half fisherman's rib knitted cream colored vest, and it's really, really pretty. And also I love vests. I already knitted two and I really enjoy them, and I really use them a lot. So I think I definitely need more in my wardrobe. And what I also really enjoyed is this cardigan. It's I don't know what kind of like pattern you would describe it as. It's very textured, and I think it looks really cool. It's very chunky and oversized, and the texture looks really cool. I haven't seen it before that often, so yeah, I really enjoy it. But basically I love all the patterns here. You can look through all the patterns online, obviously not the patterns in itself, but the pictures of the finished garment, and like the pictures are beautiful, and I will definitely knit more things from this. Also the colors are just perfect. They have like a lot of like free beanies, one is it mittens, gloves, scarf, a few pullovers, t-shirts, yeah, a lot of different options. Also they have like this, I don't know how you call it, doesn't have a name, but it's really on trend, like this turtleneck thingy that isn't a vest, but it's not jointed around. You have like this thing in the front, then you have a turtleneck, and then you have a thing in the back, and when you put like a jacket over it, it looks like you have a jumper on. And I think there's like one in the Sandnes Garn magazines, which everyone is knitting. I don't need that one because I prefer like a proper garment, because why only cover the upper part if you can cover all of it? Like, it's warmer. But I think it looks very beautiful and it's very cool. So I really recommend this magazine if this is your kind of aesthetic. And I think I don't know if it's normal that you can look in all the designs online and see what it's offering, but like I paid €6.50 and there are like, I don't know, 20 or even more designs in here. So this is like really a good deal. The only thing I think I need to get used to, because I started garment knitting with like PetiteKnit and My Favorite Things Knitwear and some other designers, and they have a very different way of writing their patterns and layouting their patterns, and these are in these really tight columns, and also they don't hold your hand. A lot of things, like the way, because I think in PetiteKnit, and especially in my favorite things knitwear, because like her garments, or the ones I knitted, are quite complicated constructed, so often there's like every row is for every row there's a description. At some point it gets easier because you can just repeat the rows, but yeah, it's quite detailed, and with this one it's definitely not. I really need to wrap my head around how these patterns work and how to follow them without getting confused. So yeah, I think that's it for things I might knit for myself in the future. Maybe I changed my mind about things I have on my most recent list and switch them out with one of the patterns I just showed. And now we come to gift knits, and I will talk, there are only 3, so I think this will go by faster. So I will knit twice, cardigan number 4, one for a friend, and I wanted to knit this up with brushed alpaca silk in a sage color, but I don't like this color. This is way too dark for my taste, and it wasn't what I was imagining. I wanted something way lighter and more pastel. I was thinking of combining this with one strand of drop silk mohair in a white or cream color anyways, but it didn't work out when I swatched it. So what I will do instead, I will order the cream colored drops brushed alpaca silk, and will knit this one with one strand of sage colored drops mohair, and that way I think I will get this like really light and pastel colored cardigan, and I think it will look beautiful. But this was why I only ordered one skein of this one and one of the lavender color, because I wasn't sure if this would work out. So I'm very happy, and I definitely repurposed this color because I actually really like it. It wasn't just not what I was imagining for the garment. So I will knit that one in that color. And also I found out that the cardigan number 4 is in half fisherman's rib and not brioche. And I know how to knit brioche, but I haven't knit half fisherman's rib before. And also it's very confusing because I sometimes get the patterns in German, sometimes I get them in English, and the German terms for stitches are very different than the English ones. For example, I find it very funny that some stitches are called after nations, like the German short rows, or the Italian bind off, or the Norwegian bind off, or whatever, or cast on. And I mean, probably they originated from there, but I mean, you wouldn't call in German, in Germany, in German and in Germany, you wouldn't call the technique German short rows. We call it differently, something without German in that. And so a lot of things like the half fisherman's rib and brioche, they have very different names, like half patent and voll patent. And I think the Scandinavian words are quite similar, because when I saw it in patterns, it's also said like half patent or something, wrote like a little bit differently written, but basically the same. But like when I see the English term for the technique, I always need to Google it. And also when I Googled half fisherman's rib, and I Googled it in German, I Googled in English, and I Googled also in Danish on YouTube, they were like very different knitting techniques. Like, I mean, they kind of ended up looking all the same, but the way the technique was always different. So, I mean, I'm just sticking with that one now, but yeah, it's sometimes very confusing if you're knitting in a lot of different languages, and because it might not be the same in your mother tongue than it is in English or a Scandinavian language. And so yeah, I still need to, I mean, I tried knitting a swatch with it and I think it worked, but I definitely need some testing. Is it testing? Or there's room to improve. So the other cardigan, number 4, is for my sister. My sister is a very knit-worthy person. First of all, she's like the proudest little sister you could imagine. I have studied landscape architecture, and we have these portfolios and things you can show easily around, and always when she meets new people, she shows them my portfolio because she's so proud of me, which is like just the cutest thing ever. And so I really enjoy making things for her because I know she enjoys them very much and appreciates them very much. And she wanted some candy colored cardigan, so I ordered her this crazy hand-dyed mohair, which is just so beautiful. And I wound up already one skein, which was very stressful, I have to say. I never caked up mohair before, and yeah, it's crazy how the coloring changes of mohair when you don't have it in a hank anymore. It's much more muted, but still very beautiful. And I will knit one strand of this hand-dyed mohair with one strand of brushed alpaca silk. And I swatched already. This is kind of stressful. Oh my god. Sorry. I think we have some kind of mess going on here. But is this right side? Is this wrong side? No, this is the right side. Yeah, so it has like this light color fading, changing from these different pastel colors, but it's not in your face. It's just, yeah, it's going to be a really nice pastel colored rainbow cardigan. And yeah, like I said, I tried to knit like half fisherman's ribbon. At the top is the ribbing because I needed to gauge swatch for both, since I'm using very different yarns than recommended in the pattern. But I totally meet gauge, so it's alright. And I think it's going to be the fluffiest cotton candy cardigan she could ever imagine. And she saw yesterday the yarn and she loved it, so I know it's going to be so nice. But yeah, the first cardigan, I have the deadline until November or end of November, and with the cardigan for my sister I have until Christmas because it's her birthday and her Christmas gift. And the only other thing I'm going to knit for Christmas are candy cane socks, and I don't have the yarn with me because it's in the storage place where I stored all of my things and half of my yarn stash. And I knit with this lace scarf for my grandmother this year, yeah, in April. And I have so much left over from it, and it's such a lovely yarn. I'm knitting myself socks with another color as well. And I thought all these, first of all, this is sock yarn, but it's very soft. And I wanted to knit for a friend socks. And yeah, I thought, because she really likes Christmas, so I thought like some lace pattern, but with a Christmas themed, and also the color is very Christmas. So I found this candy cane sock pattern, and I really like it, and I think it's going to be a fast knit. And I think like with 2 garments, which are on 6mm needles, and most of my knitting is on 3 to 4mm needles, so I think 6mm cardigans are going to go by very fast. And like with socks, I think this is totally doable until Christmas. I think how much knitting I will manage to get finished until the new year is dependent on if I find a job or not, and I don't know that yet. But I'm not fixated, is it the right word? Like, I'm open if I don't manage to do everything, the patterns are not running away, I still can do them next autumn. But this is what I have on my mind right now, and I'm really looking forward. I can't wait for the temperatures dropping and to have sweater or jumper weather again. And I think I forgot to put a disclaimer. I will put a disclaimer that my friends are not allowed to see the gift part, obviously. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of gift knitting in my future, because I have this crazy idea that all my, or like my high school friends and one friend from my bachelor's, we are all turning 30 in the next year, like from now on until next year, myself as well. And I thought like it would be so nice to gift knit them a garment for their 30th birthday, and also their birthdays are perfectly spread out through the year, so I think I have always at least 3 or 4 months between the birthdays, so it's totally doable. And yeah, you can like regulate the costs as well, but I also think like I do gift like bigger gifts for a 30th birthday. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, because except from one, they don't expect it at all. Like one knows about it, but the others have no clue. And so it's going to be so much fun to give it to them. And also I know them for such a long time and know them so well, so I totally know what kind of garment and what kind of color they or yarn as well enjoy. So I'm so excited about this idea. I don't know if it's really manageable, because I'm also known for knitting socks and gifting only one and gifting 1 year later the other one. I mean, this is not possible with a garment. You can gift something with a half finished arm or something, or sleeve, but yeah, we will see if I manage it. I mean, I think none of them would take it personally, because they don't even know that they're gonna get these gifts. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And so yeah, I will continue knitting, and I wish you all a very autumnal knitting period in your, or season in your life. And I think all knitters of the Northern Hemisphere are really looking forward to the colder months. I mean, obviously we're all going to miss the sun, but still like having a lot of knitting time and doing proper garments again are going to be so nice. And also I'm so over camisole number 5. So glad when it's all finished. I finished the 3rd one. I'm at like one quarter into the 4th one, and then it's done. And then I need a huge break from like 2x2 ribbing and double knitting for a very long time. But also like most of my planned garments are on bigger needles, so they will go by very fast, and I'm really looking forward. See you soon.